Good morning, good evening, friends. Welcome to my channel, Ek Kitab Se Ek Moti. Today I'm going to read a few lines from the Bible, and the translation I'm using is from wbtc-india.com. It's available for free, so I just downloaded one chapter of the Bible in English, in Hindi, and in Tamil because I make videos in these three languages. Most of my Tamil videos are private at the moment because I'm just practicing and honing and sharpening my Tamil speaking skills. And once I'm sure that I'm able to express myself confidently in Tamil without any kind of any hindrance or without stopping or without stuttering and stammering, I think I should make those videos public. So this idea of light has been used for divinity or the divine force or God in almost all religions. I think you'll find the same thing in most of the holy books, where light is associated with or is related to the idea of the divine that exists in this universe. So light stands for positivity, positive things. Light stands for activity. Light stands for driving away gloom and bringing in, cheerfulness. That's why we have this saying in almost every language. I mean, the words may differ, but the idea is that, when the sun rises, all gloom disappears. Darkness is usually associated with gloom and sorrow, and light is associated with happiness, cheerfulness, joy, and good behavior, good conduct. All these have been compared to light. So this analogy has been used in almost all religious books. Like in Sanskrit, we have this tamasoma jyotirgame, that is, take us from darkness to light. And similarly, you have verses in the Quran where there is a reference of light. For example, I think the divine force has been associated with light in the Quran. It refers to some form of divine light, and the lamp, the olive oil, right, that's used to burn the divine lamp is also kind of very bright. I mean, it's a very beautiful comparison in the Holy Quran. So I'll be making a video on that verse as well. So I'll talk about that in detail later on in another video, because this verse has been referred to by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as well in his autobiography, Light Upon Light. The Noor verse. Noor in Hindi and Urdu means light. Maybe I think that's a word used in Arabic as well, I'm not sure. So Noor stands for light, and it has been used in the Quran as well. And the Bible is also filled with references to light. So I'm going to read out a verse that specifically refers to light as the divine force that exists within us all. So let me just move on to that verse, and then we'll unpack and unfold and try to understand it in the modern context and how we can apply it regardless of our religious beliefs. So let me just read that verse. So it appears in the book of Matthew in the New Testament of the Bible. So here is the verse, or here are the verses. You are the light that shines for the world to see. You are like a city built on a hill that cannot be hidden. People don't hide a lamp under a bowl. Now, this usually causes some problems in pronunciation. I've heard people say or pronounce it as bowl, but if you check the dictionary, it's bowl. So people don't hide a lamp under a bowl. They put it on a lampstand. Then the light shines for everyone in the house. In the same way, you should be a light for other people. Live so that they will see the good things you do and praise your Father in heaven. Let me just repeat that verse. You are the light that shines for the world to see. You are like a city built on a hill that cannot be hidden. People don't hide a lamp under a bowl. They put it on a lampstand. Then the light shines for everyone in the house. In the same way, you should be a light for other people. Live so that they will see the good things you do and praise your Father in heaven. Now, this passage can be interpreted in different ways. My interpretation is this, and I think one of the sayings of Swami Vivekananda is a commentary on this verse. So let me also read that in a moment, what Swami Vivekananda said in one of his great lectures. Maybe it was a lecture or a book, I'm not sure, but it appears in this Complete Works, Volume 1. And I'll read that. I'll read those few lines in a moment. But first, let's just try to understand this. So what is being said here? What it means, I think, is if you are a true devotee of God, and if you have the divine spark or divine light within you, I mean, everyone has it. The question is, if you are a real devotee of God, then that divine light should manifest. It should show in your behavior, in your conduct, in your speech, in your attitude, in the way you handle pressure, in the way you handle financial distress, in the way you handle bereavement, in the way you handle anything actually, positive or negative. It should appear to others that you have this divine spark, and that started manifesting in you. Everyone has this divine spark. The question is whether you are manifesting it or not in your life. One great example that I can think of in modern times is this guy called Dan Mohler. I mean, he's a Christian, but I think what he says is applicable to all religions. It doesn't matter what your religious background is. I mean, I'm not sure. People might disagree. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is what Dan Mohler says can be easily adapted to our religious beliefs. I mean, whatever our religious beliefs, we can just take his statements, just modify them according to our religious scriptures, and just use them in our own way. We don't have to accept everything he says, but most of what he says makes sense because he is a great devotee of Christ. And what he says is that when you squeeze an orange, he asks a question. He usually addresses these gatherings in churches and maybe in other lecture halls. So, and I think I was just reading about Dan Mohler, and I think he doesn't use any modern gadgets. I think he doesn't. He is not present on social media. That is, maybe his followers have created a few accounts of his, but Dan Mohler, I think, is not into this gadget thing or technology. I don't think he's a technology guy. So I was listening to a few lectures of his, and what I gather from his speeches and talks is this. That is, one of his statements actually summarizes his entire stress or entire kind of emphasis in his speeches or talks. So he gives this analogy or example. So he says, he usually asks a question. He asks his audience this question, or asks his listeners this question. When you squeeze an orange, what do you get? So the answer is orange juice. Then he says, if you squeeze a devotee of God, or he uses the word Christian. So when you squeeze a Christian, what should you get? You should get Christ. That's the answer. That is Christ in a sense, the good behavior of Christ, the message that was delivered by Christ on the mountain, the Sermon on the Mount. And that there is reference to good conduct, good behavior, not being angry, not judging others, always being positive, not worrying. There are references to that. Not being angry with your brother, not not having any kind of bad attitude, not judging others. I'm just trying to recall, what other things it contains. It contains a lot, and then it talks about how we should not disfigure our faces when we fast. So we should not let others know that we are fasting, because we fast to please God, not human beings. And then there are references to charity. That is, when you donate, you should not publicize it, because you don't want the glory for yourself. You don't want praise for your good acts, right? You want God to be praised. That's why in this passage of verse, it refers to the letting of your light shine, but then it doesn't say that you should publicize yourself. It says in this verse, it doesn't talk about publicizing our good acts. It says, in the same way, you should be a light for the people, live so that they will see the good things you do and praise your Father. And so the praise is for God or the divine force that is within us, not for our own personal pride or personal kind of success in the world. So that example is great. That is, when you squeeze an orange, you get an orange juice. So when you squeeze a devotee of God, what should you get? You should get devotion, more devotion, or you should see the divine spark that is within us. So if I claim to be a devotee of, for example, Ram, personally I'm a devotee of Lord Ram. So when I'm in a difficult circumstance, just like when an orange is squeezed, orange juice is what we get. Similarly, if I'm squeezed, or if I'm in financial trouble, or if I'm in debt, or if I have some work pressure, or if someone criticizes me, or if some other negative thing happens, some kind of failure in life, some other negative, whatever, negative or positive, or someone praises me or someone criticizes me, what should come out? The spirit of Ram should come out. That is, how did Sri Ram act in his life? So that should be my behavior as well. That's why religion is actually the aim of man, to try to imitate godly behavior in his life. That's the essence of religion. So with that, let me just read those lines that I've selected for this video. The main selection is from the Bible, but there is one line that appears in Swami Vivekananda's great book titled, it's I think there is something here, just a second. Okay, so these are the lines. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Doctrines or dogmas or rituals or books or temples or forms are but secondary details. So let me just repeat these lines. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work, or worship, or psychic control, or philosophy, by one or more, or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Doctrines or dogmas or rituals or books or temples or forms are but secondary details. So the main thing is this expression of the divinity that is within. And Swami Vivekananda talks about the 4 yogas in Hinduism. So we have the Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Raja Yoga. So he's referring to those 4 methods of expressing the divine within us. And he says books and other places of worship and other rituals are just, or dogmas, are secondary details. So it doesn't matter what I say, what I believe in. Many are claimed to be followers of particular religions, but do they really have to say that, or should their behavior express it? So in this verse from the Bible, it says, you are the light that shines for the world to see. The world should see your behavior. You shouldn't tell the world that you are good. Your good behavior should be seen in your conduct, right? I don't have to tell others that I have certain attributes. Those attributes should be shown in my behavior. So that's the difficult part. That's why speaking is very easy. Words are, as the saying goes, words are cheap. Anyone can say anything. They can say that they are devotees, they are great followers of God, that they are very ethical people, and they have a positive attitude. But does it really show when it's the time to show your good deeds, or to show your positive attitude, or to show your ability to handle pressure, to show the world that you don't crumble under pressure, that you have the power, the divine strength to handle all situations? So With that idea, let me just end this video. So just remember Dan Mohler's saying that when you squeeze an orange, you should get an orange juice. And when you squeeze a devotee of God, all you should get is light and brightness and joy and cheerfulness. A devotee of God has nothing to do with sorrow, has nothing to do with selfishness, has nothing to do with defeatist attitudes, has nothing to do with defeatist tendencies, has nothing to do with, crawling through life. A devotee of God should stand straight and should face life boldly and face all difficulties and troubles and problems and even the good situations of life the way an ideal devotee should face these things. And let me just repeat these words again. In the same way, you should be a light for other people. Live so that they will see the good things you do and praise your Father in heaven. With that, let me just close this video. I hope you liked it. So whatever your religion, you try to manifest this divine so that when others come into contact with you, when they talk to you, when they listen to you, when they see your behavior, the light should manifest. It's a difficult ideal, as I usually say in my videos. These are ideals. We can just keep moving closer and closer to that ideal. But one thing that I'm trying to stress is this, or emphasize is this. You shouldn't tell others what you are. Your behavior, your conduct, your entire way of living your life should express that light to others. You should shine before others. You shouldn't use words to kind of decorate your behavior. Words shouldn't become your lamp. Your behavior should be a lamp, or it should be the spark or the brightness that you see in light. So with that, let me end the video. Thanks for watching.